Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams Midwillamette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. Have your dreams been buried under mounds of responsibilities? For help, contact Emily Harmon Coaching and Consulting at emilyharmon.com.
Hey.
Ta-da! Hey, welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. How's everybody doing?
Yeah. Hey, it's good. We're going to have a great show with Gail and Ingor today. And
Right.
I was just noticing in the comments that Whitney is here. She's also going to be a guest on Ingor's show later today. It's going to be a great day.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Excited about that. And
Great day of streaming.
yeah, I know.
We need you to switch your microphone over to the Shure microphone as well.
So it's not
Just
on
in
there
case.
right now. It was, but that is,
Just
I'm
in
having
case.
a few technical difficulties this morning. So let's try
But
this.
you're back in your office, so that's progress.
How is that? Is that better?
There we go. Now it sounds like Russ.
You are. Yes. I have the wrong mics and the wrong lighting and everything. I'm trying to figure everything out again. So listen, I'm so glad to slowly but surely be getting back in my office and doing some stuff still, healing, but thankful. So thankful to be able to get back in here and do this from
Indeed.
the normal spot. So Scott, what do you got going on this week?
Well, I have a question I want to throw out to our audience on that are experts on LinkedIn, and then I'll tell you a couple of things that are going on. The question is, my wife is very active on LinkedIn, and of course, we use StreamYard to push out her show, the Aging Better Network, which is at 9 a.m. this morning. She got a message from LinkedIn that made her log in again and agree that she doesn't use automation. So in the terms of service with LinkedIn, you can't use automation. And anyway, she doesn't, other than using StreamYard to push out the live show. I want to know if anyone else out there that's a LinkedIn expert has any comments and or any insights, and we'll take that in the comments here on the show. But of course, I've got the new book, Business Networking: A Scientific Method, available on Amazon. Still special pricing. 60% off, either the Kindle or the paper version, whatever works for you. We talk about the brain science about connecting, give you the 6-step process on how to connect at events, whether it's live or online, and then an actual structure for your business network, all within the book, 60% off.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, I'm excited for you, Scott, and you are you're pushing out books faster than anybody I know. So I don't know how you do it.
And thank you to Michael Holt. He says, love the book. So he's
Yes.
What a great friend.
Well, Michael is amazing. And I actually have my copy. I just have a digital copy now, but I've got my copy and read a little bit of the book. And Scott is always great job. I'm still starting the process of getting my next book out there. Also, wanted to remind everybody, some great shows coming up this week. Tomorrow morning, have Terry Tomoff on, who's a cancer survivor and also a family member had cancer and was part of Tim's book, Perspectives on Cancer. Speaking of books, She'll be on with me. And then tomorrow at 4 on Rush Reels Live, got a great group, including Tim Sohn and Baron Robinson of Kicking Cancer, and my friend Terry Tucker, who has the exact same cancer that I had and is an amazing individual. And you notice I said had because
Mm.
of the great surgery. They've removed everything in my body that they know is cancerous. So I'm praising God for that. Moving forward, excited. And yeah, I'm just excited for life, ready to heal up and keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we've got great guests today,
Yes.
so
I think we should get going. We
let's
got
do it.
Ingor all ready to go. And again, she's got her show coming up this afternoon, and Whitney will be on there. But listen,
Mhm.
before I jump and bring her on, I want to remind everybody, please let us know where you're viewing from, and appreciate everybody watching this morning. Say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Remember, you can automatically share this show out. So if you would be so great and just share it right now, hit that share button. That'd be so awesome. Also, Scott and I want to remind you that we would love for you to join our YouTube community. The best way to do that is to go to the experience.video, and then you can have all the past content as well as notices about upcoming content on YouTube. That would be fabulous. And we just are so thankful you're there. So here we go.
Yep.
Let's get going and get Ingor in the house. Are you ready, Ingor? Here we go. Woohoo!
Hey.
Good morning.
Hi, Ingor. I
How's it
want to
going?
hear a big woohoo from Ingor.
Woohoo!
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go. There you go.
That's her I love video woohoo.
Yeah.
Ingor always has the best backdrops too.
Oh my
There you go.
gosh. Thank you. Thank
That's right.
you. Thank you for having me here with you guys.
bet.
It's a privilege and an honor to be here.
Yes. Well, we're always honored to have you. So, hey,
Mhm.
for the one or two people that don't actually know you, tell everybody, who is Ingor and what are you up to?
Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Ingor van Rooi, and I am recognized as a connection catalyst. I help entrepreneurs break free from the noise and develop a branding strategy so that they can stand out and build their ideal community. Thank you.
Wow. That was short and
I
sweet.
love it.
Yes.
Yeah, Ingor, I tell you, what I love about you helping others is you got such a heart to give. And I appreciate that. And speaking of hearts to give, we're just going to get Gail in the room now. Talk about a bundle of energy. Here she is. Woo-hoo.
Woo! Without speeding, I just came from, I was on a roundtable at our local AM800 radio station. And yeah, so I feel like a little, whew.
You made it, though.
I
I was
made
going to
it.
say,
You know
did
what?
Gail bike into the studio?
Yes, I didn't bike there this morning. That would have taken me a little longer, but yeah. So welcome everyone, and great to see everybody. This is exciting. I was happy to go from that radio station. I did give a plug for your show, The Experience with Russ and D. Scott, on AM800, and I said I had to leave the studio. I rushed out of there and came right here. So
That is so awesome. Well, we're blessed to have you as always, Gail. You're just such an amazing person. So I know how amazing you are, but tell everybody else how amazing you are. No, tell everybody else what you're up to.
Well, I am a public relations strategist, and I also am a recovering journalist, and I host a show called Curious Minds with Gail now over mainly on YouTube. And my role right now is to do exactly that. What's in the background here, the sign up, suit up, and show up. That's what I encourage clients to do, is to follow those 3 steps and to really show up. And I help those in manufacturing both tell and share their story, because one of the biggest issues right now is that people think they don't have a story or their story's not important. And it's really vital that we get more curious and we hear more diversity in our stories, because that's how we're going to make change in the world, when we can hear all sides. And also from a manufacturing perspective, we need to get them out of the background and into the spotlight.
That's really interesting. I think most people believe that they have like this plain vanilla life. But if they were to hear their own story from someone else, they go, wow, how did you do that?
Yes. Ingor and I both know we've like lived this where someone will say like, oh, I don't have a story. And then when you repeat back to them, they're like, oh. And then the other thing I hear so often is people say, well, other people do what I do. And what I stress is that they might, but no one does it exactly as you do. And to quote from Dr. Seuss, it's actually pronounced Seuss, but that's a whole other story. But Dr. Seuss said,
I thought it was Geisel, but whatever.
There's no one youer than you. And that's what I stress with everyone is that just like our thumbprint, our fingerprints, we are very unique. So even if I do, in fact, I saw Elizabeth from my local community here pop up. Elizabeth and I both do some similar things, but we also bring our own style to it. So we help each other and have actually supported each other. In fact, I was at one of her events and someone, which reminds me, I got to follow up on that. Someone asked me to get back to them on for some public relations work. So we help each other.
Well, it being the middle of the week, I encourage people, think about what Gail just said. And this weekend, take your notebook, pad of paper, back of an envelope, whatever it is, go for a walk and answer this question. What would the world be missing if what I do didn't exist? My business didn't exist, right? What would the world be missing if my business didn't exist? And you're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I think that we are all so similar in the fact that we all believe that we all have value and something to add. And that's the biggest thing that sets people apart, just like you talked about, Gail. I love your Dr. Seuss quote, nobody is youer than you. And it's true because there is a different twist. When I started live streaming, I brought in so many coaches, live streamers, and people would say, why are you doing that? Aren't they your competition? I'm like, no, they make me better. They're a community I want to be around. They're people I want to support, and they support me. And those are the things that are so important, I think, and to remember that you all have your own flair, just like when Ingor jumped onto video and became the video queen, right, Ingor?
Yeah, okay.
And everybody, if you don't know, Ingor loves video. So, I mean, she couldn't wait to get on.
I don't.
Ingor, give us your twist on what we're talking about there.
Sure.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Goodbye.
There's room for everyone. A lot of us think that because I do what you do, we can't be in the same community, but that's not true. For me, I believe in the principle of Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. And the reason why I believe in that is because I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for even the three of you sitting right here. You all influenced who I am. People that are in my community. Special shout out to Alton Davids, who is watching live. He is in Cape Town, South Africa. He is a fellow presenter with me on radio. And during a conversation with him, he motivated me to get the heck out and start walking. And I now I've been doing it for 22 days straight. And I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for him. Russ, you and I had this conversation the first time I was ever your guest, and you said to me, like, oh, you should have a show. And I was like, are you crazy? And now I have to.
He is, and you should.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I am crazy. That part is true.
But yeah, there's the thing is, it's so powerful when we come together because we can learn from each other. We can look at what others do and strive to emulate them. Of course, put your own flavor into it. but you can learn from one another. Whether you and I are both marketing specialists, Russ, or inspiration specialists, or if you and I are both motivators, Scott, you know, that's the beauty of it all. Because of all of you, I am who I am, and I'm more curious definitely because of Gail. She's the most curious person I've ever met. So
Yeah,
Double-edged
that's
sword some days.
We'll say it's curious in an action by her, not an attribute of hers.
yes.
Oh, maybe it is.
Well, I'm a firm believer in we are better together. And
Yes.
this group right here, we have all been together on multiple live streams and projects and things that have helped us all to be better. And I've learned from the two of you so much. And it's just a matter of helping, encouraging each other, because then it pushes us forward, right, Gail?
Yes, that saying, we can do more together. And it's really kind of a strong belief of mine right now, and especially in the manufacturing realm, because we saw during COVID too, things like supply chain. And when decisions are made that without being curious, without doing research, it can have a tremendous negative impact as well. We saw that again in manufacturing when it came to, border shutdowns, when it came to shutdowns in a lot of areas. And a lot of times decision makers didn't understand the people behind the scenes and what was happening. So we think about what we can see, but because I work also in mold making, they make the tools that help make the final plastic products, right? So a lot of times we were just talking about this on the earlier radio show I was on, that a lot of times decisions are made on emotion, not on data and stats. And it's really important we do the research to understand how things come about, because that's how we're going to have greater success when we're all emotional creatures, right? So we tend towards what we feel as opposed to what's actually happening. And that can be very detrimental sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just I was thinking back recently, some stories came up about 9/11, and I was running supply chain operations for a couple sites at Hewlett Packard at the time. And I remember I was at a coffee shop when everything happened, meeting with some friends, and then went into work. And of course, everything shut down. There was no air traffic. There was the whole United States supply chain shut down. And pulling the team together and saying, we don't know, obviously, but let's take a look at what is it that we do know and what are the things that we can do. And so taking an inventory of the parts that we had, looking at the production schedule, and it was going to have to change. And our shipping schedule was going to have to change. But what could we do? Not what can't we do?
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, I was thinking this morning that perspective and attitude is so important in everything we do. And you two are both so great in that area. And I think a lot of times, like Scott's saying, what can we do? And no matter what field you're in, that's one thing that Ingor, we like to do to inspire and encourage people and motivate people, is that you could do way more than you think, right?
Yes. Yes, you can. We need to just get out of our own way, really. Many times we are the ones who impede our own growth. And if we just stop overthinking, right, Gail? We just stop overthinking that.
Are you an overthinker? Is that what you're saying there?
Yes, she is.
That's awesome.
Well, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. Oh, it is very true. It is very true. And speaking of doing more than you think, Gail, what projects and things do you have coming up right now besides being the radio queen? You and Ingor both. What else you got going on?
Well, I'm on the board of Canadian Association of Mold Makers. We have a new executive director who is knocking it out of the park. She's doing such a great job. It's really pulling everything together and getting, the people who make things out into the spotlight. We've had kind of a renewed energy with new members. So that's exciting. And the other thing I think in terms of, what people often say, okay, it's all well and good to talk about this, but what tangible things can we do? So I'm a big believer in, part of the overthinking. It's that double-edged sword, right? Because I like to do research. I like to dig. I have to know when to stop, though, sometimes. But there is an upcoming course. I just had this on my Curious Mind show. I had Biljana Georgieva, who talked about her new course called Wise Up. And it's all about taking time to reflect on how we lead, on how we live, how we do things. And anybody that knows Biljana, she comes out. I mean, she's been in the corporate world. She's walked the walk. So I encourage everyone to look into that course and take some time. We often we invest in all of the tools of the trade, but sometimes we don't invest enough in ourselves and how we lead and how we act and how we do things. So I'd encourage everyone, especially in the summer, now's the time to, take time to step back. And I love that question you had, Scott, about, going for a walk. And those are the things that you can do, especially high achievers that find it hard to go take a break or go take a holiday and not work. In fact, I just told a newer client this. I said, instead of working, take time to reflect, journal, and write down your success story. So it's funny, we're on the same wavelength. Sometimes we need to take time to just, breathe and reflect.
Yeah, that is so true. Absolutely. That's so true. I think that is something I've learned when I have a lot more time to breathe and reflect in recovering. And so sometimes you realize as you're in this mode where you're not as active, that you really need this time to regenerate and to get your mind going. I'm reading a great book by Brendan Burchard, who is, amazing book. Highly productive people and their habits. I forget the name of it all of a sudden. I'm spacing, but great book. But anyway, a lot of that, he does talk also about giving yourself time, making life simpler, because we overcomplicate things, we overdo things, and we don't give our times to breathe and reflect. Right, Scott?
It reminded me of Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And and maybe Ingor and Gail, you can relate on this one too. There is actually the 8th habit of highly effective people, and that's sandbagging.
Sandbagging?
Yeah,
now,
sandbagging,
I don't have to go Urban Dictionary that, do I?
I'm gonna, sandbag, right? That's saying, I can get it done next week, and then you get it done today, and you're like the hero, but you knew you could get it done today anyway. So, I'll just put a shameless plug in for another book for Freeze, because this is one of the things that happens when you're talking about when you're running your business or your life, and things happen that are unexpected, like 9/11, like the pandemic, like losing your lease. The worst thing you can do is nothing. Don't freeze.
Yeah. No, that's so true. And who do you have the shout out for that helped you with Freeze? Who's the other author?
Yeah, this is Veronica Jeans. She is the Shopify queen.
Yeah, Veronica is a great person as far as keeping you motivated as well, and that's so awesome. So, Ingor, tell us what you got going on this week. What's going on in your life besides just being a connection catalyst?
Oh gosh. Well, I've recently been invited to be part of a new foundation we're getting ready to launch. It's called Destiny Connect Foundation, and I want to read it to you. It says, "We are making meaningful human connections for a greater impact on the world." So I've been invited to be an advisor for them in terms of networking. So that's pretty cool. I'm working on a project right now. It's really been intense because I do a lot of interviews, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
Right? Yeah, I think if you had told me that I would be doing this 3 years ago, I would have laughed you out of the room. Um, but yes, that's what I'm doing on this project right now, and I have a show that's going to be live later on today. It's at 2 p.m. EST, and I will be hosting and highlighting Whitney Koch. She's in the comments. We'll be talking about faith, and the best part about this show is I'm also live on radio and I get to play music. I know Gail loves that. So I usually play some music before I go live on screen, and afterwards as well. That's related to the topic. So I'm excited about that.
Very
Nice.
cool. What's your
Ingor,
favorite?
oh, sorry, go ahead.
What's your favorite type of music?
I actually love many different kinds. I'm eclectic, but I love gospel music because it just speaks to your heart.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you do there. Gail,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say she's a great DJ. I was very impressed. Anybody should go listen to her show. What's really interesting is how she weaves in music and then has the guests come on. And when I was on, she picked some great music related to curiosity. So I love that, and I always like to look at things from different perspectives. And it was I really encourage everyone. This is a really Ingrid's show is a global show. She brings on women. And she asked some great questions. One thing I'll say, I may be curious, but Ingrid, you are definitely a good question asker. So it was a great show. We had fun too. We had
We did.
quite a few laughs.
Yes, we did. But I really learned to ask questions from you. Usually I have a set of questions that I ask, right? But I've learned from Gail that I can deviate from that sometimes and
Mm-hmm.
just ask questions that pop up instead of just sticking to the script. So yeah.
Awesome.
We
Well,
need you in the world of journalism now. That isn't happening so much there.
There you
So
go. Woo. Well,
Journalism
Scott, I
has
haven't.
changed
Scott,
a lot.
Oh
I
my
haven't been invited on Wonder Woman. Yet. Scott, how about you? I don't know why.
uh,
So, hey, listen, we're going to let you both give your golden nuggets for the day. And then as we wrap things up, and then how people get in touch with you. Ingrid, you go first.
Thank you. Wow. Did this really happen so quickly? Like, what happened to the time?
I know it.
Thank you to everyone who's watching. I see your comments, and I'm so appreciative of you. And thank you as well to you, Scott and Russ. Um, it's been an honor and a privilege. As always, my golden nugget for today is remember that no man is an island. We all need one another, and we can all learn from each other. So, also, an African proverb goes like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Thank you. And you can find me on LinkedIn as always.
There you go. Awesome. So good. And actually, it's amazing, but your connection information is right below you there.
Woo-hoo.
Everybody, it's clickable in the
Woohoo.
comments, the show notes. Go see Ingrid. Gail, you're next.
Well, I'm going to quote again from a great show, and I just finished watching the last season of Ted Lasso. And there's two mantras that have come out of that. One is my most famous one, which is "Be curious, not judgmental." I encourage everyone to go, even if you just go Google the DART scene, and really understand how when we are curious and ask more questions and learn more about someone else, it can be very powerful. The other thing that comes out of Ted Lasso is believe. And this goes back to you, Russ. One of the things that is so important is a belief. And this could go to faith. It could go to your inner power. And watching your journey, Russ, is very empowering. And, you're sharing your story because you said something, I think that, you were kind of forced to take time to reflect. And one thing I'm working on now is that idea of that before I have to be forced to reflect, making sure I take time to believe and, having that faith. I said, whatever your faith is, it's really important to have that faith and belief because there is something greater than all of us. And when you believe that, it makes life easier and more joyous. and sometimes more difficult. So it's not that it's always easy, but we can have more joy in the long run. So thank you for inviting me today.
You bet. And people get in touch with you.
Yes. If you Google Gail now, you can find me everywhere too.
There you go. And it's magically below you too. And you can click on it. It's all clickable here. And ladies, as always, amazing. Thank you so much for both being here today. And it won't be the last time, but thank you for blessing Scott and I with your wisdom and presence today, making us look good.
All right.
Russ selfie. Did you catch that?
Yes,
yes, I saw that. I saw that.
I'm calling it an Ussie now. See, I heard that. Actually, I think it was on Ted Lasso, an Ussie.
That's even better. That's even better.
It is an Ussie. And I tell you, I'm sure is getting a great screenshot. Everybody smile. There you go. That's going to be the selfie for today.
There we go.
All right. So listen, thank you so much. We're going to send you to the green room. Hang tight for just a sec. See you on the other side.
Woo.
Bye.
All right.
All right. Wow. As usual, flies along.
It does. I'll quote a book. Some people may have heard this one. Curiouser and Curiouser.
Seriouser and Seriouser.
Curiouser.
Curiouser and Curiouser. What book is that?
What is that? We'll wait for people to put that into the comments.
Okay. Yes. People, please.
This is the interactive part of the show. So
Scott, what do you have coming up this week?
Yeah. So we're finishing up the Caregiver Kit book, the printed book with Christine. So that should be coming available soon. And of course, we've got there's freeze, but 60% off right now on Amazon Business Networking. Some great tools there. It's Business Networking, a scientific method. We've got Christine's show coming up right here on LinkedIn at 9 a.m. And then, of course, there's Marketing with Rush, hashtag Russ Ussie tomorrow morning. And you've got Russ Reels tomorrow afternoon. So lots of stuff coming up. And I just encourage people, go to the Experience Stuff video. Please subscribe to our link or to our YouTube channel.
Yes, please do. And, don't forget, we're here live every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. But the links, once we are done, work for replay for infinity and beyond. So you can click on any of those. Best way is to join our YouTube group so you have access to all of that. And also you learn more about how to get in touch with me and Scott. RussHedge.com, DScottSmith.com. You can find out about his books. And we just appreciate all of you guys being here. And, it is such a pleasure every Wednesday to be here. And I just want to leave you.
Alice in Wonderland.
There you go. I want to leave you with this final quote. If you haven't subscribed to my LinkedIn newsletter, please do. It's weekly every Monday. And, this week started off and says, make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive, uplifting, and nourishing people. People who believe in you, encourage you to go after your dreams, and applaud your victories. That's a Jack Canfield quote. And Scott, you're one of those people. Ingor and Gail are those type of people that I love to surround myself with. And I just want to thank everybody for being here. With that, Scott, I think we're on our way out.
Today is everybody. A good day.
See, one last thing to do before we leave. For me, his word. All right, everybody. Until we see you again, have a great day and a great life, and
enjoy the experience.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.